Yep, come on in. We ain't even gonna play no games with this one. We gonna be real quick. You already see what the lower third say. Nasty work. Nobody's gonna be able to survive this one. They're not gonna be able to survive this one, man. Browns take an L to the New Orleans Saints, but we all knew that. We're gonna talk about what this means. We're gonna talk about why I think that nobody can survive this, and we're gonna actually show you that not only people are tired and fed up with the Cleveland Browns, but they've mentally checked out and moved on. This is a game where this might mark the end for front office, head coach, all the above. And bear with me, people, you're going to see this in this analogy, and it's going to be fire. I'm telling you that right now. Browns looking terrible. Nobody can survive it. We'll come back and talk about it on the Browns post game right here on the Barbershop Network. Welcome on in, as I said before. Welcome to the Barbershop post-game show. Your boy G. Bush right here with you as always after every single Browns game. I want to thank everybody for pulling up. It's 154 people in here. We're going to get you out of here quickly because there's a team actually, if you're a Cleveland sports fan, there's a team that actually deserves your time and energy. And that team kicks off in about an hour, and they're called the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are, by the way, still undefeated. They play the Hornets tonight, and I'm going to devote my time and energy to watching those guys because I'm not even going to lie. I had one eye on the Browns. I had one eye on my NCAA 25 dynasty, and I had one eye on a menu, figured out what I was going to eat after this game. Went with Chipotle. I didn't want to wait too long. Just give me some Chipotle, and you never can go wrong with a nice bowl and some queso or something. So that's what I'm doing. I hope everybody out there is getting into what they're getting into and checking out the Cavs. But let me tell you this: in this scheme of things, you know how I give it up. I got a nice little analogy. Excuse me. I got a nice little analogy for you. I'm into not when we talk about politics. I'm not into what the politics is or whatever it is. Just bear with me. Don't check out. Good gracious, you see the P word, politics, and people are crazy. But let me just give you this analogy. One thing that it's taught me as I watch and analyze what things that go on in the discourse in our country, right, is the fact that what politics taught me is that more than anything, people are concerned about their well-being and their well-being compared to where you used to be at. And the main thing I heard from a lot of pundits was the American people talk about it all the time. Am I better off than I was 5 years ago? Are my gas prices higher? Am I able to afford the food that I'm putting on my table? And do I feel safer? Do I have to work 2 jobs? What about the rising cost of tuition, or I don't have savings, or the rising cost of healthcare? People have, we talk about a lot of different things in Discord in this country, but one thing that holds true is that more than anything, people are worried about where you are today compared to where you were 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And if you aren't comfortable with that, and if the answer is no, I'm not better off, people really don't care nothing about all the rest of the stuff. All the rest of the stuff on the fringes and all that other stuff. People is hyper-focused on the well-being of their family, the well-being of how they feel, rightly or wrongly, or whether that's true or not. That's what they're worried about. And it taught a lot of people in this country that, yeah, there could be some other things that people think are important, and other things, and people think it's going to be important. But let me show you something. Because my job as G. Bush is to hold the mirror up to you guys. And it might that be many people that watch this blog. But you got to give it to me. I bring thought-provoking things to the table, and I'm just trying to show you what I'm talking about. And another thing with my whole election scheme here is people don't believe in polls. People don't believe, what the polls say. Well, you know what I said? Let me go conduct my own polls, right? Let me show you something here. Let me show you something here. I just want to be clear. Let's take this down real quick. This is a poll I introduced yesterday, right? And I think the Cleveland Browns fan base, and I think the Cleveland Browns in general, should look at this. One of the things that we've always been taught and we've always learned and that we've always been told was that this will always be a Cleveland Browns town. Nobody will ever change their mind. The Guardians or the Indians or the Guardians in the Cavs will never get the amount of attention that the Cleveland Browns get. We love them. We go to the Muni lot. We spend all our money. They are the darlings of this world. Well, yesterday I was on my radio show and I put this out here. And this is for the thought-provoking people out here. I said, if I'm going with my political scheme here, if I'm trying to paint a picture, let's paint this narrative. The narrative is that a lot of times the people that are at the top don't listen to what the people at the bottom are saying. They're telling you what's important to them. And you keep telling them, no, that's not what you need to hear. That's not important to you. This is what's important to you. And so when I talk about this and I look at this, I put this poll question out there. I said, if the Cleveland Browns were awarded a second NFL team, I'm making a point here. Do I think that the NFL is going to reward them a team? No. This is a thought experiment. This is only for high-level individuals. If you want surface-level commentary and tell you how bad the Browns is and you can't understand it, this is what we're talking about. This is high level. Just go along with me. I know that the NFL is not going to give them a stadium. I know that they can't put the stadium downtown. This is all about circumstances and proving a point to the people that are with the Cleveland Browns that don't seem to understand what the people on the bottom are looking at. I said, if the Browns were awarded a second team, and with that second team, they built a state-of-the-art retractable dome downtown. Now, it doesn't matter if it's retractable dome, open field, whatever you would like. Just substitute that in there for that. They got the first overall pick in the draft for the first 3 years of their organization. And new ownership hires a coach like Mike Vrabel, or maybe even consultants like Bill Belichick or Tony Dungy. Would you support that team over the Browns as constituted currently? So that means, would you support this new idea over what the Cleveland Browns are giving you and Andrew Berry, Dee Podesta as chief strategy officer, Kevin Stefanski, and owner Jimmy Haslam? See, this poll was taken in a day. 1,321 votes. It's pretty decent sample size. I do Browns content. So these are people that are diehard guys. I talk to a specific niche market. And these poll results are astounding to me. Because this isn't no fair weather, hey, we don't like the Browns. I just watch football because it's fantasy. My core audience and my core base of people that watch this content are die-hard Browns fans, season ticket owners, the creme de la creme, the guys that's going to wear, that's buying hats like this, buying orange shirts that don't match with nothing else. This is what we're doing. 720 people in here. We're working our way to 1,000. Hit the like button. I'm trying to show you something right now. 45% told you yes, they would support this new team over the Browns, the same ones that we cried when they took them away in 1995. By the way, it's just we in the political scheme, right? We doing a whole analogy about everything is it's part of our life. Right now, this could be seen as a partisan. The yes people could be red or blue, whatever you want to go. But look at these independents down here. Look at them independents at 20.1%. They would strongly consider making the move. So out of all of these people that are diehard Cleveland Browns fans that watch them, buy merchandise, on Twitter talking about them, those type of people, 65% said that they would at least strongly consider jumping sides compared to 35% that said no. This is what the polling data tells us. And instead of people, Jimmy, all y'all people out there, all you analytical people, trust me, this is a small sample size, but this is grassroots. Because I only talk to the hardcores. Some of the stuff that I talk about ain't even going to make it to the mainstream. We'll never get there. You know why I ain't going to make it there? Because it's too polarizing. It's either too left or it's too right. What you're seeing right now is the core, the diehards telling you, we don't like what we're seeing, dog. This is nasty work. It's not the fact that you guys are so into the Cleveland Browns. Maybe y'all just like football. It may be not the fact that the Cleveland Browns is the best thing that you've ever had and it's the greatest thing. Maybe it's because they gave you that crap before and it's the only thing that you have to look with and stay in contact with. It's the only thing, you have no other alternative. It's just like Madden. The Madden, I've been talking about EA Sports for years. Madden comes out, it's the same repackaged garbage. You take stuff away 2 years later, years ago, and then you reintroduce it like it's something new. You're like, but no, we got to create stadiums years ago. We already had that in Dynasty mode back on the old generations. Why are we still talking about the gameplay? It's because there's no competition. This shows you right here what the people actually want. Hey, you want to go to Brook Park? There's some people that want that dome downtown. You talk about all these draft picks. They don't like the Cleveland Browns because they screw up draft picks. Give these 3 first-round picks, the number 1 overall pick 3 years in a row to this new organization that may know how to actually do something. They don't like your consultants. They don't like D. Podesta. How is D. Podesta your chief your strategy officer when you can get guys like Bill Belichick or Tony Dungy or guys who have won at a high level to come in and do exactly what he does, but at a higher level? How is it that the Lions can go get Dorsey to help them out? They're rolling in 9-1, put 52 points on the board, but yet and still you got consultants that don't even do nothing. They're baseball guys. I didn't know the A's won nothing with Moneyball. But that's your claim to fame, D. Podesta. So as you can see, don't get it twisted, Browns organization and brass. People are looking for a readily available change because they don't like you right now. I wrote a blog last week that said the fans are checked out. I wrote a fan, I said, all the fans checked out. I got multiple comments on my page that I've been done. People telling me, you know what, G. Bush, I've been outside more than I ever been. I'm taking time out with my kids, man. I was down at the park. I'm walking my dog. I'm looking for different things that we need to do for Thanksgiving. I'm looking at new recipes. I'm doing some home improvement at the house. Look, you know what? I'm actually not even watching TV that much. I've been just looking around, just easy listening. You know what? I'm checked out. We talk about the whole political angle. I'm checked out of that too. People just looking for something that's calm, cool, and collected. I'm cool. It's people getting off Twitter. I ain't on Twitter no more. I can't do this no more. People is checking out with all of this make-believe drama that y'all got. Because you keep trying to sell to us that it takes 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 years of losing to get to relevancy. I just saw the Cavs do it last week. By the way, you're in a no better place than you were 5 years ago. The people are telling you gas too high. Bills is too much. I ain't got no savings. It take forever to take. I can't get my kids in college. Kids can't buy housing. College degrees is way too much. I'm paying all this money for college degrees and tuition and all that stuff, and I'm coming out and I'm getting regular jobs with ceilings and cap limits. We don't like it. They're telling you that about your team. We see the Detroit Lions. We see these other teams with Jaden Daniels. We see all these rookie quarterbacks coming in and doing it. We see all these guys that you find in draft picks. We watch our neighbors, the Pittsburgh Steelers. put quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback into the building. And guess what they continuously do? Win. It don't matter if it's Duck Hodges. It don't matter if it's Pickett. Does not matter if it's Mason Rudolph. They just got Justin Fields and was winning. They took Justin Fields out and put Russell Wilson, who was a laughing stock. Before us in our bad contract, they said Russell Wilson's contract in Denver was the worst contract in history. Not only did they take him, they put him in place, and now they're rolling. We're tired of it. We are tired of you selling us and living on a dream. See, you guys are great at selling hope. Hope is the greatest thing in the world, by the way. If you can't deliver results, you know, the next best thing people understood and realized that are in power, sell them hope. I know your generation didn't get it done, but maybe you can work for the next generation and they can have a brighter day. I know we done bad by you, and you may never get the job that you want. You may never make the money that you deserve. And you might not even be living in great conditions, but guess what? If we put our heads together and talk enough about it in meetings, maybe, just maybe 3 generations from now, your descendants could be working hard enough just to even call themselves poor. So they sell you. The Browns have sold you that we should be happy that Kevin Stefanski won the Coach of the Year. Who gives a crap about that? We have 1 playoff win. We should be happy that Kevin Stefanski gets awards recognized by writers and people, NFL guys around in circles that don't know crap. That put food on my table? Do it. We should be happy. Well, Myles Garrett is a top 5 player. We should be happy about that. At least he got something. I know this ain't for everybody. I know I'm delving into a bunch of different stuff here, but everything I'm saying is spot on. I'm just the only fool to say it. I mean, this dude, he done broke the 4 or 5 cardinal sins. You can't talk about politics for a whole half hour. Say what I was saying was incorrect. You shouldn't talk about your fellow brethren in the media. Shut up. What are you talking about? That whole charade is over too. All the talking heads on that say nothing but regurgitate the same thing. You know what? They laughing at you. Do you notice that in halftime? I watch the halftime show all the time. And during the halftime show, they do their best to fast forward the Cleveland Browns. They do their best not to even talk about you fools. Yeah, Cleveland, Kicker missed a 27-yarder, 32-yarder. Man, they let Taysom Hill run up and down the field for multiple yardage. Yes. Who runs Wildcat anymore? You can't even run Wildcat in high school. You can't run Wildcat formations in high school. And the Cleveland Browns, once again, come out there like little kids with no discipline, no foot. And I don't like to go here. The Cleveland Browns have no football IQ whatsoever. 0. It is the lowest IQ football team I've ever seen. How do you let Taysom Hill run simple quarterback power for almost 200 yards? I don't like watching G. Bush because he thinks he knows so much. G. Bush is always winning. He always thinks he knows so much more than the coaching staff. Come on, bro. You guys coming around? Guys, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It's just a quarterback. I've been telling you that from Jump Street. Think about this. DeJuan Jones, by the way, out for the year. Andrew Berry, you know how crazy it looked? That even if you wanted to put Jed Wills in the football game, you can't. You gave him a 5th-year option. You drafted him 10 overall. And he comes out this week talking about he made a business decision. You can't even pivot and put him in the game if you wanted to. That's how bad it is. A, because he doesn't know what he's doing. B, he's not very good. And C, he had the audacity. and he had the energy level to sit up here and say what he said. You know what my people used to say? You know, my mom and grandma used to say, you felt comfortable enough saying that dumb stuff? See, it takes a comfort level for you to even talk about certain things. When I ain't doing nothing, it's like being at the house. It's like being at the house. I know my grades ain't no good, and I've been acting up. You at least got the sense to understand to read the room that I probably shouldn't ask for nothing for Christmas. I probably shouldn't ask for no video games or some Jordans. But you so comfortable that you know you done bought 2 D's and an F in the crib. You didn't clean your room on time, and you're talking back to your mother. And you so comfortable that you gonna fix your mouth to ask me for something? You lucky you got basic utilities. I thought about cutting the fan off in your room. Hey, I asked the guy, hey, can we cut the central air off only in this room? Yeah, he need to have this room about 75 degrees. But Jed Wills, I made a business decision. That's coming back to look crazy on you, Andrew Berry, because guess what? Just like when you have children and children that are minors that are dependent on you, when they do something and they embarrass you, they don't look at the kid because the kid is just a kid. That's a reflection on the parent. That's a reflection on your upbringing. That's a reflection on your draft pick. You co-signed this move. You gave him a 5th year. And you kept telling us, we like Jed. We like our tackle room. You sound crazy. We like our receiver room too. You sound ridiculous. And you sitting here trying to tell me and force feed me and make believe that we are better off than we were 5 years when you got here. You were handed a quarterback, a running back, one of the best defenders in the league, one of the best corners in the league, and you give us what? 1 victory during COVID? And my last scheme before we finish, because I do want to get you guys out of here, and I want to thank 1,290 people for being here, talking that real talk with me. The last thing, and I said this on UCSS. I said this on UCSS post-game show. On the Bleacher Report, I said for everybody to hear. See, the problem, I like to look at history, and I like to learn from history. When you talk about the great historical wars and battles in the world, you know what all the famous generals realize? Is that when you have an army that's constituted of people that you've conquered. I go to this village over here and I conquer this people. I go to this city and conquer these people. These people got different religions. They may be different races. They may be different creeds. They got different values. Their homeland is thousands of miles away from Rome or wherever you them conquered. And that's fine when you win it. That's fine when your army is kicking butt and rolling, right? It's fine when you go to the gates of another city and you knock on the gates and they already surrendered. Your army looked real tough back then. You ready to go when you can get that off. But let some things happen. Let you lose a couple strategic battles. Let you start losing some battles to some really feisty people that's hard-nosed, that's gonna fight tooth and nail for what they believe in and their dignity, and you get ran out of some villages and you take a couple L's on the front. Let a famine hit. Let them be out there with meager rations, or it get cold, or it's raining and storming, and they start to get to thinking, man, I'm 1,000 miles away from home. I'm taking lessons from these folks. I'm taking orders from this general. He ain't never been in the field. He studied at the Citadel, and he plays general on his chessboard up with the bureaucratic dudes. But he ain't been down here. And you know what happens? Them is the first people that desert. When they get tough, them is the first one on the front line to say, I'm going to surrender. Hey, come on over here and take me. I'll be a prisoner of war as long as you feed me some food and you get me out this cold weather, because I didn't want to sign up with these cats anyway. Those sell swords, those mercenaries, those bounty hunters are the first people to drop them swords and keep it pushing. Because you know why? They ain't got nothing to invest in. They don't have no skin in the game. You came and conquered them. You didn't want to be part of that. You had no choice. You just playing the game. And if you notice, the first people for the Cleveland Browns that always give up is the mercenary. You say, G. Bush, what you talking about? All them sell swords, all the Zadarius Smiths, and he excited and he doing it. I ain't never seen nobody do an interview on a Thursday night after the game where you didn't even play. Yeah, dog, the coach told me to chill out. Don't even worry. Come back in another week. I'm just so glad they're excited to be here. Them is them sell swords. The Juan Thornhills of the world that just always coming in talking about what they've done, always talking about their leadership qualities, and always talking about what's regular and how we gonna change something up. Listen, son. Listen, my guy. If you had all that mental, all that moxie and all that extra and all that, we gonna be great and all of that. Yeah, we got this leadership and I'm making plays. We gonna change. If you had all that, you still be in Kansas City. Why you got to come over here and get a payday? You could have stayed with all that experience in Kansas City, couldn't you? But you sold us a bill of goods, and they consistently sell you a bill of goods because you can't draft. If you can't draft, if you can't develop, if you don't have an identity, if you don't have a culture that people and the soldiers and people are willing to fight for, this is what you end up with. Sell swords who will drop their weapons for a bag full of silver coins. And we've seen it happen. Jadeveon Clowney, Odell Beckham. Heck, even somebody would say Jarvis Landry. Somebody would say, listen, we just seen Juan Thornhill, Zadarius Smith. Every single guy you get coming in here want to talk about these 1-year deals, 2-year deals. That means you're not invested in nothing we trying to do. How you coming in here just all of a sudden with some leadership and you ain't putting no work in? You might want to come over here and make some plays and endear yourself to the locker room, dog. If your team leaders are the sales swords, you're dead. If that's your team leaders, that's the ones talking, that's there on 1-year deals, you're out of here. You're done. That's why you see people loafing, talking out of turn. And then and then think about it. When they start saying something, then you get the dudes that haven't even been battling. Then you get the dudes that you may have had in the on your camp and on front lines. They sitting back. And Jay Will's talking about, I don't know if I want to get on the front lines. You don't see them. Hannibal got elephants out there. What you mean? I saw Hannibal bring the elephants over the Alps. What? I'm cool. Y'all got me from. I really look. You see what that Hannibal out here putting work in. I still got I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my knees, and I'm gonna make that business decision. When that L come, when y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, get on your History Channel. But I'm going to let you know something right now. Nobody can survive this. Not going to happen. Nobody going to survive this. Because you're worse than you were 5 years ago. You don't have any ball players. Think about this. Jameis Winston threw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let's look at the stats. 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 109 QB rating. And you still got waxed. You weren't even close to winning. And he got 400 yards passing. Do you know if Deshaun Watson would have threw for them 400 yards? We'd have had people dancing in the street. But the problem is this, is what I told you from Jump Street. While you sitting around looking and doing all this great stuff about Deshaun Watson, you got problems in your ranks, your generals, your tacticians, your strategists. You got weak links across the board. Across the board, weak links. And you see it today. Even when you can get 400 yards passing, your special teams is dusty. The way you go about allocating resources and money. Do you know that in like 3 years, Dustin Hopkins' contract, he has an $8 million cap hit for a kicker? Do you know that they allocated and wasted a fourth round pick on a kicker that they had to cut? That was so bad they had to cut him less than a year that he was with the organization. And then they're so stupid, they cut him and then brought him back. Like that was a savvy move or something. And then you get Dustin Hopkins, and he misses a 27-yard field goal, a 30-some-yard field goal. We still got guys almost running kicks to the house. We still can't find a kick returner. We got Deontay Foreman returning kicks half the time during the season. Bubba Ventrone, what the heck are you doing? I make Bubba Ventrone get back on special teams. No, you're not a coach today. Bubba, you get on and run down on these kickoffs. Evidently, nobody you put out there can return them. Or cover him, so you get out there and run. I have him out there in his khakis running, tackling folks. Saw the offensive line coach out here laughing on the sideline. How you an offensive line coach and the game almost over and you sitting over there and they 35 yard points on you and you can't even run the football. These guys are funny and they laugh at you. Y'all better wisen up, man. I do Browns content. And I don't want to do no Browns content. I'm not even going to lie to you, but I keep it real. Listen, the only reason I come on here afterwards is to talk in full length. So nobody won't cut me off and say, well, what do you think about? No, you're going to hear me for an hour. I get to say what the heck I want to say, free from any interruptions. And I talk to the people that understand the real. That's why I do this. I don't do that because of them. I do that here, right here, with the real. 1,591 people in here. Hit the like button for your boy, whatever platform. We on Facebook, we on Twitch, we on YouTube, we on Twitter, and we rocking and rolling, man. All right, let's get to your comments. There's 365 of them. I'm gonna get to every super chat. If you want a super chat, it's available. We will try to get to every single one of these before we get to the the Cavs game. But I know I gave you a lot. We talked politics, we talked art of war, we talked about a bunch of stuff. I'm interested in seeing what you got. Let's get to it. Deion Wilson. I wasn't defending I was saying that the team was playing to their strengths, but your friends in the media cried about 300 yards. If you look at the media, why wouldn't Jimmy? So they changed the offense. No, listen. What I've been talking about for so long, Deion, is this. It's the thing where it's clever misdirection. You notice that everybody in the media is silent. I told you about this. Here's the way it works. When you're in the media, you're not supposed to say certain things. Let me just let you know. When I got in the media, I didn't understand this. And it's one of those things where when you get in the media, they tell you, okay, you're in the media, you're in the club, but you're not supposed to question what somebody else says. You're not supposed to really call out people for saying certain things because that's not really professional. You kind of let everybody have their opinion and you do your own lane. And I came in and was like, well, listen, you guys didn't let me in the media. The people put me in the media because if it wasn't for the people, I would never have a full-time job in the media anyway. People say, G. Bush, you got your show? Let's be clear. I've been doing radio for 13 years. I should have had 10 shows by now, every single day. But what you got to understand is you can't get mad at that. You got to go out and make it for what it's worth and make them pay, right? Do what you do and make them pay. Because when you build your name, when you build your what you do, you put the work in. But I can't complain about that. But the good old boy system is this, and ain't nobody gonna tell you that. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be saying half this stuff. They're like, man, we can't put you in. You a loose cannon. How dare you? How dare you compare things that to history that actually make sense? So they do things, they'll discredit you, say you're a clown, Duke and knee jerk, all that good stuff. But everything that I done said, half of it, 95% of it come to pass. So what I'm telling you is, yes, the media was all about, this year was a referendum on Deshaun Watson. That's what this year was. No one will tell you this. When Deshaun Watson did not play well, the media was focused on Deshaun Watson. When Deshaun Watson's chess piece was off the board, it was moving along. Let's move along. Nothing here to see. But that vitriol and that anger and that extraness to Deshaun Watson, the reason that now there's a vacuum for who you can blame is the reason for the indifference. Nobody's going to come out and tell you, well, what will you evaluate Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski? No, because they putting the cape on. Now it's, okay, let's just watch the Cavs. Nothing here to see. Nothing here to see. No one could do a job like this with this quarterback room. No one could. Jameis Winston just threw for 400 yards. But nobody could win with this quarterback room. Nobody could do it. No one's able to do. We had so many injuries. Now the cape is on. Now all of a sudden you understanding. Where's all that? It was the quarterback. These dudes don't even watch it. These dudes don't even watch the doggone game. Yeah, they think they sleep. They don't watch these games. They be out here running around doing nothing. Looking at these highlights. You don't watch no games. You ain't on all 22. Stop it. That's the way the game works. G. Bush, you better stop. That's why you ain't got no shows. You better quit. You're about to move your schedule down. For Ford to get 300 yards, but the team isn't built for passing. It's built for the run. Listen, the team is built to get the brakes beat off of them. That's what they built for. Incompetent offensive line play, incompetent strategy in terms of picking players, incompetent special teams. It's been that way for 30 years. Greg Newsome has the right number. What's up, Greg? I appreciate you, cuz. Greg Newsome has the right number, 0, because he gives us nothing. We got beat by Joe Woods' defense. Think about that. Joe Woods, the guy I said wasn't no good, the guy that I had a whole camp for. Yeah, boy, Joe Woods came out there and put all 14 points. And Greg Newsome, guess what? He was a first-round pick, too. Jed Wills and Greg Newsome. That's what you have to show for it. All this talent. All this talent. We good at dancing. Dancing with the stars. Dancing with the stars. Handshakes. Shimmies. Shimmies. Handshakes. Gang signs. That's what we good at. 5 years in L's and 1 in 31. We good at handshakes. Rob Ventures, man. G, you the only one in Cleveland to speak facts. I like Tyvus and you guys on the Browns radio. They getting paid by them and they're afraid to say the truth. They say you can't fire a 2-time head coach of the year. They stuck on stupid. Listen, listen, don't invite me to no cookouts. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, like, I'm not trying to go to your cookouts, bro. I was sleeping on my mom's couch when I was doing this. I was doing these post-game shows when I couldn't even get the stream up. And you know what one thing told me? Never get too sold on anything. I told people this before. I've had people's camps reach out to me. People's publicity managers, people's agents, people's team. Hey, yo, we want to do this. We want to do this. We want to do this. You know what I always tell them? Nope, can't do it. They're like, why, man? You seem like a cool dude. I might have to tell you, you garbage. I might have to listen. You do all that outside kicking it. I might actually have to tell the truth. I might have to be like, nope, you're not good. And you're not playing good. So I like to sleep well at night about things like that. I like to sleep well and say, yeah, listen, I thought you was good, but you're not good no more. You can't take nothing away from me, bro. And look, I get it. Some people got certain places. There's time and place for everything. So time and place, if I'm getting employed by the Browns or employed by a certain place, there's certain parameters you got to work with. But before you take that, y'all gonna have to open up a bag of money before I even consider doing that, because I'm not into compromising. When you turn, that's what the barbershop is. It's about being brutally honest and being real about the situation. When I turn that camera on, you ain't never got to worry about is G. Bush in somebody's back pockets. Never. It is what it is. Sorry. Kevin Stefanski is not a good coach. He did not coach the win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Glenn Francis, I want to thank you so much for your super chat. Kevin Stefanski, listen, let me tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kevin Stefanski has some strong suits, and I think Kevin Stefanski also has some weak suits, and his weak suits are showing up. His things that he talks about are showing up loud and proud. One of them, you'll start to see, I don't like, when people don't respect what you or fearful of certain things. Jed Wills not playing for 2 years, coming in out of shape, not knowing what's going on, and all of a sudden he talking? Come on, man. Amari Cooper ain't never said nothing in his life. Amari Cooper was like, I wouldn't mind being out of here. Whoa. Why does everybody feel so comfortable? Like with all this extra stuff. You may be a good coach. You may be a good player's coach, but you comfortable. Why is Andrew Berry comfortable and sitting up here saying that he likes certain rooms, bro? You 2-7. I don't like nothing about that. You guys don't understand. Just because you come off calm, that make you look stupid. I would respect a person that come up there and be like, listen, man, I done picked these players, and I'm going to be honest with you. As an organization, everything that we're doing right now is not good enough. Tomorrow, when we get to the office, my job is to find guys that are willing, that's going to be on that field, that's going to make plays. That's it. I don't want cats in trouble. I don't want listen, I want somebody that ain't going to be in trouble and that's going to make plays. That's it. That's how we moving. Can you be healthy? Can you make plays? If not, we don't need you. Kevin Stefanski should come in. We need guys that's going to be disciplined, guys going to be coachable, and guys that's going to bust their tails. That's what we need. If we don't got it, we don't need you. Simple as that. But they do all this high talking and analytics jargon and conference room and corporate America crap. Once again, you guys in corporate America are out of context and out of touch with what regular people think about. Regular Browns fans don't care nothing about your rhetoric. Let me remind you that these people said this. 65% of them said, don't get it twisted. I like the brown and orange, but if you give me an alternative, I'm ready to do something else. I'm ready to do something with an owner that's willing to put the right people in charge. I'm willing to do something with a head coach that I think gonna hold people accountable. I'm willing to do something with a team that got 3 first-round picks that I think gonna do something wise with those first-round picks and not punt them and throw them in the lake. That's what they want. Not what you think they want. That's what they want. 1,827 people, wherever you at, hit the like button. I appreciate you hanging in with me. We're going to get out of here because guess what? Out of these 1,800 people, guess what? You guys didn't have to pull up to this. You could be doing whatever you wanted to. Let's get to some more of your comments. More of your comments. Pee-wee's burnt pizza. No one thought Hurt was washed. I was begging him to sign him again, but our genius GM and coach said, nah. Our genius GM and coach, they say nah to a lot of stuff. and we end up with regular players on the field. This is bad. Stefanski, Barry, and DePodesta need to go. Complete rebuild is necessary. This is as pathetic as the Browns fans suffer year after year after year with excuses. We are worse than we were 5 years ago. It's not even close, Doxy. You were handed, in my political talk, you were handed a burgeoning economy. You were handed young playmakers. And guess what you did? Nothing. The fall off of Dustin Hopkins needs to be studied. The fall off of the whole team needs to be investigated. I'm all for a special counsel. What is Bob Mueller doing? Hey, this political talk's funny. We need to hire a special investigator, bipartisan investigator, to figure out what happened to Dustin Hopkins. What happened to the Cleveland Browns? We need a special investigator to come. Hey, so Bill Belichick is the answer. You say, not really. I say, listen, give me somebody that done something. Give me him, Tony Dungy, somebody. I take him over DePodesta. I take him over DePodesta. Hey, listen, you can't blame Watson no more. Hey, I told y'all, you might as well go ahead and just be like, you know what? When I said, listen, if it don't work, you in trouble. And I said, the worst thing that could have happened for you is him getting injured during the middle of the season when you got 8 to 9 games with a whole sample size with Kansas City, Baltimore, the Steelers, all these primetime games, and you're gonna have to show your ineptitude in real time. Because, by the way, I know some Baker people out here. They blame Baker too. They told you Baker wasn't no good. They didn't. They said Kareem Hunt was washed. They traded Odell Beckham Jr. and said he was washed too, won a Super Bowl. Come on now. It's down to them two. They didn't basically scapegoated everybody possible. Mari Cooper, it was you. It was Odell Beckham. Yep, it was Baker. Yep, it was Baker. We couldn't do nothing with Baker. Oh, couldn't do nothing with Deshaun Watson too. Now, Jameis Winston threw for 1,000 yards in 3 games. You still can't do nothing with special teams. Still can't. We're going to get to this. Wayne Willis. It seems as though the defense believes that they play defense every other series and then they're doing fine. It's not great. Tuesday is always a great day. No, they believe they're. And our brethren in the media gave them a pass too. I know some people with no names needed. Oh, I don't think it was the defense. The defense played okay. I thought they played, all these prerequisites and all of this stuff. I don't really think it was the defense. I think the defense had some good plays and they played fine enough to win. No. They've been frauds the whole entire time. They've been fraudulent too. Come on. These guys be doing that. They've been fraudulent too. J59, UXU, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Once again, I don't know who you are. You're Dr. Claw. I feel like you might have been one of them people that was the hackers that got Lupe's album out. Oh, he was one of the news like, oh, Lupe ain't coming out? We told Sony, I think it was Atlantic or something. But if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'll be doing some stuff. Let's continue. Mr. Dinovich, thank you, G. They're all saying it was Deshaun's fault, and you see as a former football player, too, that it's not nearly all his fault, but they don't want to hear the truth. G, love the show. Look, you see, I love it. You know why I love it? Because it's uncomfortable. When you watch people that was on that type of time, remember watch how uncomfortable they are now when they have to describe the Browns. Because now there's no where you going to turn except for the people at the top. And it's difficult when you have to criticize people at the top because it's, access. Like, are you going to forfeit your access? Or are you going to mess up your good graces? Or are you just ready to say, you know what, this is coming too. This is coming. Mark my words. Trust me. Hey, this was just a bad year. Sometimes you have a bad year where it's just everything goes wrong for you. It's no one's fault. It's just, one of those things where you're counting on certain people and they just don't show up or they get injured. It's just one of those things. And I just think the Browns, they just need to stay the course. Stay the course. I understand that the fans are angry, but sometimes shut up. We seen it coming. I see it from a mile away. And you remind them when you hear it, you're going to say, dang, this guy G. Bush. G. Bush was right. Joseph Potter says, Carthage and the Browns are not that different. Look at the guys up top and compare them to Carthaginian politicians. Thank you. Also, you see, shout out to somebody that if you know, do your homework. I'll be trying to narrate these weaves and I'll be trying to sew this thing together. But people, oh my gosh, he's a clown. What is he talking about? Listen, I only want the thinking people in here. I only want the thinkers. See, Chris Rich says, was at the game. Shout out to you for going to this garbage. 1,900 people in here. Hit the like button. Total waste of time. Sad that it almost felt as the Browns was like a home game. Home game at times to so many well-traveled fans. Man. Y'all people still be going out and supporting them, still buying merch, still doing all this stuff, and they be just playing. They just be playing. They just be playing with us, man. Bert Crozier, why don't Browns ownership go ahead and get Ryan Day, Chip Kelly from OSU as their head coach and offensive coordinator? Some would say that might not be an upgrade. Chris Gillespie, the resurgence of Jed Wills is our fault. We knew and saw him play and give him up, then have an okay game or two, and we started believing again, shaking my head. We're right on that. We had people running around talking about Jed Wills isn't that bad. Jed Wills isn't that bad. Jed Wills just happen to be not Joe Thomas. I think we're used to seeing Joe Thomas and how great he is, and then Jed's not that. And no, Jed Wills gives up on plays. Jed Wills is not a guy that finishes blocks. He doesn't know his assignments, and now he makes business decisions. We've seen this for 3 years. It's nothing new. Thomas Brown, we thank you. Thank you for your support. Let's talk about this small, but why are your co-hosts on the other shows still talking about putting DTR in? Fellas, I told you, it's cognitive dissonance at its best. When your world is shattered, when your worldview is proven wrong, you have nothing else to pivot to. Think about how nonsensical this is. Jameis Winston just played one of the best games statistically that we've seen from a Cleveland Brown in about 12, 13, 14 years. All them yards, for almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's done all of that. But yet and still, because we can't just come out and say, man, I don't know what's up with this coach front office and we've got to make some changes. The only thing we still continue to talk about is the quarterback. It is quarterback derangement syndrome. That's the only thing we will talk about. It's the only thing that we care about, even when every piece of data is pointing to the opposite. And smart people would say, well, if you throw for 400 yards and you look like you weren't even close to winning, then what was the real problem? DTR is another a red herring. Look over here. It's a blue goose. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? It's not DTR. Stop saying what you see in DTR. Again, we are grasping at straws. DTR is a 5th or 6th round pick. You are now wishing upon a star instead of looking at yourself and saying, we in trouble. We actually are really in trouble because the quarterback is not even what we're talking about here. That's why. It's a sunken cost theory. We've been on the bandwagon that we can't touch Stefanski, that we don't want to blow it up, and that we should get extra credit points for giving contract extensions to coaches and front office guys. So we can always say we had continuity. Now, when that worldview is shattered, what are you going to point to? You got to double down on something else besides the quarterback. So that's what we got. Hence, play DTR. Okay, is DTR throwing for 400 yards? No. Mick the dog, ask yourself, why was Amari Cooper, who has never been vocal, I've heard him say 4 things in his whole life, has never been vocal anywhere in his career, was ready and willing to say out loud he wanted to go somewhere else? Mick the dog, that is oh man, let's get a couple more in here. And then we'll let you guys go. 2,000 people. I appreciate y'all, man. B1 Bomber 082. Can't wait for Jay to come up with the excuses tomorrow. And I ain't say that. Y'all said that. Well, I just play the comments, man. Hey, man, come on, man. Nobody could do this. This is an impossible job. Yeah, and I see first-time head coaches in Washington winning. No one could ever turn this thing around. See it every year. Some team go worse to first, and they keep selling you hope. They won't give you results. They keep selling you hope. One day, maybe your children can see the Browns win. Yeah. All right, man. With that being said, man, I enjoyed talking to everybody here. I'm gonna get out and watch the Cavs and eat my cold Chipotle. Hopefully you guys do the same thing. So what we're gonna do is that we always do, man. Best part about talking to you guys is the fans is getting a vent and talking, having them general conversations and having real conversations with the people. See, if you want that regurgitated, oh my gosh, everyone says the same thing. They want to sound smart. You can get that somewhere else. But it's for the people at the barbershop. If you know, you know. So let me start off where I'm from. Of course, I'm a Browns representative. 216 in the building, 330 born and raised. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 440 and the 234 as well. People down in the 640. Shout out to my man in the Athens County 740. OU stand up. All of that, all those good things. Where you calling from? Where you doing? What you doing? And you supporting. We gotta get the supporters all around. Where we at? Let's get to it real quick so we can get up out of here, man. Let's go. 202. Ha. Yes, sir. 219. River Sticks. I see you, man. 440 Rubber City, man. Let's keep it pushing, man. Yeah. Where we at? Where my people? Rubber City in the building. Akron in the building. 702 is in the building. Jacksonville, Florida. 262, Burlington, Wisconsin. Bedford, Ohio. Shout out to my man Evan Curry. 614 Chuck Terry. What's up, man? Cleveland to Atlanta. And I'm from the gutter, still living in Cleveland. Shout out to you, my man. 305 via 330. What's up, cuz? Fairview Park. We see you. 3 330 Alliance in the building. San Antonio. Shout out to the Mills family, my cousins, my people down in San Antonio. 330, man. Chicago, Chi-Town, 843-708 is in here, man. Glenn, I see you. Talmadge, Ohio. Garfield, 216. Glenville. The Falls, Cuyahoga Falls, man. We doing it. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Shout out to my man Lamar Martin, man. You know what it is. Germany. Stay safe over there. Keep holding us down over in Europe and the European Union. Vermilion. 361 Texas. East Cleveland is in the building, man. We everywhere, man. We worldwide here in on Barbershop. We continue to do it. Make sure you check us out, man. With that being said, you never know where G. Bush might be at. Radio, television, internet. Speaking of Monday, coming up, we'll be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show 11 to 1. Coming up as well, Tuesday will be, Monday, tomorrow. Catch me on the Bleacher Report. I'll be on there as well. With that being said, I'm everywhere. If you want the fresh take on sports and the fresh cut on sports, the Barbershop is where to be at. I got the Clippers with me at all times. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Cavs. And reluctantly, even though they don't play well sometimes, go Browns.